Hello everyone, now I'm here with my next video of arrays. In this video, I'm going to cover two programs of different types. First one is input statement and the next one is scanner. Two different programs by two different techniques. Previously, I had already told you about why we are creating arrays and how we are going to declare it by using assignment and by using function argument. Now I'm going to tell you how we are going to declare an array for accepting data or for accepting size from user. Two different techniques we are having for accepting data, that is the input statement and the scanner. I'm going to tell you both of them one by one with two different examples. See, I already told you array is a storing continuous memory allocation. Single dimensional array always contains elements in continuous form. And one more thing I want to remind you, we are creating array because we have to store similar type of data inside a variable. And one more thing, array element always stored from 0 till the length minus 1. That is the index. What we are using, that is index for storing element one by one. The index starts from 0 till the length minus 1. And now see how we are going to declare array when we have to accept anything from that user. How we are going to declare? See, the declaration syntax is data type, array name, square brackets equals to new data type, square brackets size. First of all, what you have to remember that, see, array name also known as subscripted variable, and array name can be of any name. You can use any name for that, but use related one so that everyone can know about why we are creating all these things and what we are going to store in it. And new always used to allocate memory dynamically. What do you mean by dynamic? Runtime. When user is going to provide us the size of array is this. When user is going to provide us size of array, then we are going to store it. That's why the new keyword allow us to provide that memory to an array. And see, if array size already known by us, then in this way we can create our arrays. See, the size is 10, size is 20, size is 20, size is 10. If we know all these things, then we can create it in this way. The syntax you all know. This one is syntax. In the same way you have to declare it. The data type, it is data type. This one is array name. Single square bracket shows us it is SDA. Means it is single dimensional array. If we are using two square bracket, it means we are having double dimensional array. In our course right now, double dimensional array is not there, but I am going to tell you about double dimensional array also. If you are interested, then go through it. Actually, previously, array is declared in two format, that is in single dimensional array format and double dimensional array format. Two types arrays having in our book previously. We are having three-dimensional array also, we are having multi-dimensional array also, but in our book two-dimensional array and one-dimensional array is given for us. But this year, double dimensional array is not in our course. That's why right now we are dealing with single dimensional array. These are the examples how we are going to declare that array if we know size of array. See the next slide what we are having. Input statement. If we know size of array, then you know how to declare. If we don't know the size of array, then we have how we are going to declare it. See what happened. If we don't know size of array, then we have to accept that size from user. And we are going to deal with two techniques, that is one is input statement, another one is scanner. We have to accept the size of array from user. That's why with example I'm writing enter number of students. If I want to store the number of students in an array, then I'm going to ask enter number of students. Then the user provides me the size of array. Then I'm going to declare that array int2 square bracket is equals to new int size, because user is going to provide me size and I'm going to declare it. If I'm using scanner, then in this way I'm going to ask system.out.print. Here dot is there. I had written comma, but dot is there. System.out.println enter number of students. And in scanner we are going to write this line int next int for storing integer value. Size of array we are getting from this, and then we are going to declare that array. Int array name, new is going to provide the memory. Int is used to say that this kind of things we want this much. And then what? See how new going to provide us memory. If size is 4 and we are going to store 4 integers, then what you have to remember, int always stores 4 bytes. I think you know that. Means 4 integer and 4 bytes, means total 16 bytes. 4 integer, 4 bytes. If we are having an array of character type and we want 2 characters, the char is having 2 bytes, we want 2 characters, 2 into 2 is equals to 4, means 4 bytes. If we are having 4 double element, then what? If we are having 4 double element, and you all know the size of double, the bytes a double store is how many bytes? 8. And we have to multiply it with 4 because we are having 4 double elements. 4 8 the 32, means 32 bytes we required. In this way sometimes some questions occurs. And see the next slide what we are having. I'm going to tell you few questions and how we are going to create that program. The question is, write a program in Java to accept 5 students' name. I'm taking 5 because it is easy to explain 5 and it is easy to show you all the 5 name with total marks. But if I'm writing 50, it is difficult to show you all. That's why I'm writing 5 only. Write a program in Java to accept 5. You can use 50, 100, anything. That's why we are using arrays in Java for storing so many elements together in a one variable of same type. Here we are accepting 5 students' name with total marks. Total marks is out of 500. And what we have to do? We have to find the topper, which that student name of a student name of maximum marks. I think you are able to understand. Then we are moving further. See, we are having one program I had already created with the comments so that you can understand it in easy way. Let's see what happened. See, in this program, I'd written comment for you all to find topper among 5 students. Then I'm using input statement right now. That's why java.io is compulsory. Throws IO exception is compulsory. Input stream reader and buffer reader is compulsory because we are using input state. These are common lines. That's why I'm moving further. See, here I've written array declaration with size 5 already given. We are having size 5 students. That's why I'm declaring two arrays. One is string type, one is float type. String type because student name is string type, and float type because total marks can be of decimal numbers, can be of simple numbers, can be of decimal numbers. That's why I'm taking decimal number. See, for storing maximum marks, I'd written max and I'm initializing it with 0.0f. I think you know why I'm initializing 0.0f, because float always shows us that we are storing a decimal numbers, and 0.0 is the least number what we are going to provide us, what we are going to provide that computer. And one more thing I'd written here, that is pos -1. I'm going to explain later why I'm taking pos -1. Now we are moving further. See, for I'd written, see, for I equals to 0, I smaller than 5i plus plus. Now we want to accept elements in an array. Why we are using array? To store similar type of data. That's why it is how we are going to accept values, by using for. Otherwise, in different line, we have to write enter your name, enter your total marks. So basically, if we are having 25 students, we are writing 0 to 25 here. If we are having size, then we are going to write size here. If if we don't know the size of array, then we have to accept that size and we have to put it here. If you want to use length, then you can use array length. You can write stu name dot length. You can use length also. And now, see, I'd already written here enter name and total marks of I plus 1, means the student number I'm going to tell you. The enter name and total marks of first student, enter name and total marks of second student. Value of first value of I is 0. means 0 plus 1 is 1. In output, what we are getting? 1. Enter name of total student. Enter name and total marks of first student. In this way, continuously you are getting counting also. First student, second student, third student, fourth student, fifth student. And one by one, user going to provide us name. We are going to store it in stu name. We have to write I also, because in stu name 0th location first name is going to be stored, and then in first location, then in second location, and so on. In this way it is going to be stored. That's why we have to put I, because I shows us in which position we are storing that name. In 0th location we are going to store the first student name, and then in 0th location of tot marks we are going to store the total marks of a student. In this way the loops rotate, and in different location we are going to store every name and marks. The stu name in one position and tot name in one position we are going to store each and every values. And then see what happened. In this loop I am going to use few coding also. See what few coding I am using. These codings. First of all, my aim is to search the top scorer. Top scorer means we have to see the marks. Tot marks provide us one by one values what we are having of 5 students. See, tot marks one by one is going to provide us the marks of a student. And how we are going to check whether the first student is having maximum marks than second student, and the third one, fourth one, fifth one, we have to compare one marks with the another mark so that we can have our maximum marks. How we are having? I'd already taken max variable storing 0.0, means a little value what we are having right now, and then we are going to check with the another values. For example, tot 0 contain 430 marks. Tot 0 contain 430 marks, means tot marks contain 0. Tot marks 0th position contain 430, and our max contain 0.0f. If we are going to compare both of them, what will happen? 0.0 comparison with 430. Which one is greater? 430. That's why we are storing 430 inside max. Now 430 is the maximum value. Previously 0.0 is maximum value. Now 430 is maximum value. 430.0 actually, because it is floating point value. 430 is maximum value right now. And why I am using pause equals to I? Because I want that person name also with maximum marks. Right now max storing the maximum marks, but how I am going to judge the name of that person? Just remember that the common position we are having for name, we are having, if first person is having name in 0th location, then that person is having total marks in 0th position only, na? In the same way, if name is in one position, then the total marks is in one position only. If first one score 430 and the next one score 320, means 430 is having more marks comparatively second one. That's why what we want? The zeroth location. We want to store zeroth location. And how we are going to store it in? Inside pos we have to store. Pos means position. And where we are having 0? 0 we are having inside I. And we have to store it in pos. See, that's why I had written pos equals to I. But here I am writing -1. Why I am using -1? I can use 0 also, but I am not using 0 right now. Why I am not using 0? Because 0th location is already present in an array. First location is 0. If I am storing by default 0, it creates an issue. Means I am thinking like that. The first one is a maximum one. Right now, if I'm writing 0 over there, it is not creating any issue. Sometime it's creating an issue. That's why I had written -1. If you are using 0 also, no issues we are having right now. The See, in this way we are going to store a maximum marks with the position where the maximum marks is stored. Why we are using this position? Because we want name also from the same location. And we want to print that name. The same way it is going to do 5 times. And in last, what we are having? We are accepting it, we are checking it, and in last, what we are having? The maximum marks with the correct location. After that, when we are coming out from the loop, we are having two things: the top scorer name and top scorer marks. But I is equals to 5. Then we are leaving our loop when I is equals to 5. And the fifth location never being in our array. What we want? The exact location of a top scorer. The exact location is inside pos. That's why I'd written top scorer name and the position. Stu name bracket position. When we are writing a subscript inside a square bracket, we have to mention that subscript. We have to mention that index. We have to write that index inside our square bracket, then only it is visible. And index I am having in pos. That's why I had written stu name pos. The same way, tot marks pos. I think you are able to understand. And now I am going to move further. See. And now the output of our program. 5 different students, name with the total marks, and in last see the top scorer with the marks I already provided. And then see what happened. Our next question arises. Our next question is, the program question is, write a program in Java to accept number of elements of an array num from user and store all even numbers in even array and all odd numbers in odd array. And finally, we have to display both the arrays. Again, I'm going to explain you all. We have to accept an array name is num, and we don't know the size of array. We have to accept it from the user. And for example, if I am saying that we are having total 10 numbers, from that 10 numbers we have to split that 10 numbers into two parts. One part contain even numbers and another part contain odd numbers. We have to create two more arrays. One is even array, another one is odd array. Even array contains all even numbers, odd array contains all odd numbers. I think you are able to understand, and Now we are moving further. See, I had created one logic by using scanner. See what happened. Program by scanner. The first line, see what I had written. One comment to store and display even and odd numbers separately. I had written that comment for you all. And then because scanner is present in util, that's why I had written import java.util.asterisk. And then something related, name is related, that is number. And then what happened? We have to create object of scanner class. That's why I written object of scanner class. I created that instantiation. And then I'd written one comment for you all because it is new for you all. That's why I written comments, so many comments, so that you can understand in an easier way. See, except size of user, except size by user, sorry. Then what happens? See, I'd written one comment except size of array by user. How many elements a user want to provide. And then I am going to tell that enter how many numbers you want to provide us. The size user going to provide us. And in this way we are going to declare that array. That's why I'd written the comment array declaration with size provided by the user and array declaration for numbers. The different comments I'm using so that you can able to understand what I want to teach to you. See, now we are having the number of elements and we had already declared an array. Now what we have to do? Array is already created, memory is already located. We have to fill that empty memory with the elements. How we are going to do that? See, in this. Firstly, we want to ask from user the number of elements. That's why I'd written enter size and then numbers. If the user provide me size 10, then I'd written that value enter 10 numbers. User is going to provide me 10 numbers one by one, and then that size is already put here 10, and one by one user is going to provide me numbers. I'm going to store it in numi in 0th location 1, 2, 3 and so on till 9, because when we are having 10 elements we have to move till 9, from 0 till 9. See, why I'm writing this here? Because I have to create two more arrays. One is for even and another one is for odd. Right now, when I'm entering element one by one, I want to count how many even numbers we are having. That's why I'm counting even numbers here. That's why I'm writing count 0. I'm declaring count 0. And after getting counting of even numbers, after getting all elements, I'm going to declare an array because I'm having that counting. For example, if I am having size of array 10 and I'd counted even numbers, that is 4 in count, then what happened? Means we had created even array and the size is 4. But if I want to know how many odd numbers we are having, what we have to do? 10 minus 4, that is 6. That's why I written size minus count. Size is 10, count is 4 for even numbers. That's why array contains 6. I think you are able to understand. Then we are moving further with our next slide. See what happened. I'm I'd already declared array for you all. Then we have to move further. See, array already declared. Then we have to fill elements in an array. Memory we are having for two arrays. For example, four memory for four integers, for four even integers, and for six odd integers we are having memories. We're already having memories. Now we have to fill inside an empty memories. Four empty memories, and in six empty memories we have to fill elements. How we are going to fill? Firstly, we have to write this loop because we are having size is 10. We have to execute this loop. We are having numbers in num I. We have to check whether the num I contains even number or not. If it contains even number, then what we have to do? If it contains even number, then we have to execute this line. Why I'm using p? See, in num array we are having every element in this format, and in even array we are having elements in this format, and in odd array we are having elements in this format. Different size, different numbers we are having, means the first array is having size 10, the next array is having size 4, and another array is having size 6. The counting is different, the size is different. That's why I'm using I for counting 10 till 10. From 0 to 10, I'm using I. For counting 0 to 4, means, sorry, 0 to 3. For counting 0 to 3 even numbers, I'm using P. For counting odd number from 0 to 5, I am using Q. These variables I'm using so that I can count and provide one number in an exact position, means even 0, sorry, even 0 contains element, and that element counting should be inside P. And in Q, odd counting, I'm using postfix. Why I'm using postfix? Firstly, value of P is 0. See, I want to store element in pth position, and then I want to move further. I can write in this way also. Firstly, I want to store it inside it, and then I'm going to increase it. It is a correct manner, but in short way I had written this because prefix tells us firstly you have to use a particular position, then you have to increase it. Means firstly we are going to use 0th position, then we are going to increase that position. That's why I written p plus plus. The element which are having even numbers, that position which are having even numbers is going to be stored inside even p, and if that number is odd number, then that number is going to be stored in odd q plus plus. Both are having a different counting. Why we are having different countings? Maybe we are having 10 different numbers. Firstly, it contain few even numbers, then they are having some odd numbers with the even number. In this way, so many numbers. Firstly, we have to store all even numbers together, then the counting increase p plus plus works. Again, sorry, p plus plus works. And then here, q plus plus works. And again here, p plus plus works. Means different counting we required. That's why I written p and q. And see, after filling each and every numbers inside this loop, what we have to do? We have to display it one by one. See, the list of even numbers. List of even numbers means we are going to display it by using loop because we are having different array for different numbers. If we are using num, then we are going to display all numbers together. If we want to display only even number, then we have to use even array. That's why we have to write even array here. The size of even array is p. That's why I started from 0 to 3. Value of p is 4. See, one by one, every even number is going to be displayed with the gap. And then I'd written backslash n here because print is going to print each and every element in this way, but is not going to change the line. And if we want heading in next line, then we have to use ln. Ln is going to change the line, and then heading is in next line. List of odd numbers. Size of odd number is q. That's why I'm using 0 to q. And array is odd. Position is I. One by one odd number is going to be displayed. See, is it possible or not? I'd created this program. We are going to see what will happen next and see the output what we are having right now. How many elements? User provides us 6 means, and I'm going to provide that 6 number. 1 2 3 4 5 6 I had written. Any number you can give and see what happened. List of even numbers we are having, and then we are having list of odd numbers. In this way, you can do a simple programs of arrays by using scanner or by using input statement. Anything you can use. Go and do that. If you have any doubt, then do consult me. And after that, goodbye and good luck. And be prepared for your terms also. Be prepared for your